The Business Journal Roundtable Series is sponsored by Advanced Technology Partners.
Is the Mahoning River clean? Can I swim in the Mahoning River? Would I dare? I mean, how clean
great
is it
question.
today?
So I know we took a kayak trip not too long ago, and I went with my husband and my kids, and the whole way down the river, you can see clearly to the bottom. So I know I didn't even think that was actually possible from the stories that I've heard, but being on the river and seeing it and looking down, my kids we can see fish. Look at all these fish. You could see, I mean, it's very, very clear for us. And I know we work with the EPA and different things with our wastewater treatment plant, but I was very shocked at how clean it actually is. I feel comfortable with letting my kids.
Anyone?
Yeah, I would say, it depends on what your definition of clean is. I guess is it's never going to be like a high mountain glacial stream. That's just a reality of having industry, being a post-industrial city like Youngstown. I think the water is every year getting better. The years of organic material has kind of created a cap on the bank. So as long as you don't pierce that cap, it would be considered relatively clean.
What does that mean?
So a lot of
The cap, what does that mean?
So there's still the dredging projects are used to suck out the heavy metals that are in the banks that are from years of industrial pollution, and then kind of nature cleans itself. So the material the organic material that goes down the river kind of forms on top of the inorganic waste material and creates almost like a buffer area of clean soil. So as long as you stay on that, but if you go down 2 or 3 feet, there needs to be more dredging, I believe, on that to get the contaminants, the historic contaminants out of it. But in a kayak, we have kayak trips all the time with friends in Mahoning River. It's the access points have been well cleaned, and I would be I've been on a kayak on the river many times, and it's an enjoyable experience.
But you wouldn't swim in it.
I don't know. I'm very weird about swimming in anything because I feel like as an environmental consultant, I've seen too much. So there are certain times where it's if after rain, I'm not the one to answer that because I've seen too much.
I asked this question of my peers at MS Consultancy before I left yesterday, and I was talking to them about their views on this because, yes, they would agree. They would say swimming, probably wouldn't recommend it. Being splashed by the water in the river, that's not going to harm you. You don't want to ingest it. However, that's almost any river that's along an industrial area or urban area. So you go to Denver, if you go to any other community, it's the same. The quality is similar. You can get on a kayak, you can get on even a raft potentially, but you'd probably be submerged more. It is something that we wouldn't recommend swimming in. However, but these are the rivers that if you have an urbanized river, that's just what it's going to be. Also, with the combined sewer overflows, they're addressing those in the city of Youngstown and all over our community, and that's lessening the overflow of sewer into our river. However, there's almost always going to be an opportunity where sewer potentially could get into our river. However, if our rivers are self-cleaning by removing those low-head dams, the river's doing its job. It's diluting that contaminant, and that's what most rivers do throughout the United States. Is they do get contaminants in it, but as long as they're free-flowing, they're able to clean themselves. So I would take my children on the Mahoning River. I don't know if I'd completely submerge myself if I didn't have to. This is the honest answer.
Yeah, and I think there's, kind of another element to how clean is the Mahoning River, and that's what does the upstream look like? What does the tributary look like? Stormwater is a huge kind of component of water quality deterioration. So making sure that our communities upstream of the Mahoning River are prepared to implement products to alleviate some of the stormwater concerns, not just from a quantity aspect, but a quality aspect as well. Just getting through the winter months where we're putting down road salt, that increases, spike in salinity in your water chemistry. So all of these little pieces come into play to ultimately affect how clean the water is in the Mahoning River. But yeah, we rely on data from the Ohio EPA to tell us, are we meeting attainment levels? Are there specific locations of their sampling where their data is indicating that we're not meeting attainment? That's kind of how we were led to the dam removal projects, is reviewing that data. Those impoundments are impediments to water quality, which is the impetus for wanting to remove those. Because as I had said before, there was that cost benefit kind of like return on investment case. Are we going to sacrifice the environmental quality here for the economic return? It made a lot of sense back in the day. Today, I don't know that argument still holds water.
The Business Journal Roundtable Series is sponsored by Advanced Technology Partners.